I saw something that you said here in your visit to Nevada that struck me. You said, I'm the only fiscal conservative in the race. Now, that's a dramatic thing to say. You don't really believe that.
It's a pretty bold statement, and I absolutely believe it. Because you know what? You can't be fiscally conservative if you're liberal with military spending. Every other candidate on the stage is for increasing military spending without offsetting it, just saying, oh, we need more military spending. But that's not very fiscally conservative. That adds to the debt the same way when the Democrats say they want more welfare spending. So I think there's enough blame to go around. In fact, the game in Washington today, they've just had an agreement with President Obama, and the game is we're going to increase military spending and we're going to increase domestic spending. The deficit be damned.
I guess what I'm wondering, though, is that what would you do about military spending? Are you suggesting you would cut it, keep it at the same level? And that, to add to that real quickly, Senator, does that mean you're not a fiscal conservative if you ever say that spending should be increased for anything?
Well, fiscal conservatives would say you spend what comes in. We bring in around $3 trillion, and if you're a fiscal conservative, that's what you'd spend. If we bring in $3 trillion and you want to spend $3.8 trillion, whether it's for defense or welfare, whether it's for guns or butter, you're not a fiscal conservative. Most people in Washington play a game. They say, oh, well, Republicans are fiscal conservatives and Democrats are liberal. They're all liberals. They really are. They're all liberals. They get together and agree. Why does the deficit go up no matter whether Republicans are in charge or Democrats are in charge? They just have different sacred cows they want to spend the money on. So I am different. I am unique within the Republican primary because I think enough's enough. You should only spend what comes in, and you can't just say, oh, because it's for military, it's fine to run a deficit.
So if there's a war, and you have to increase military spending, obviously, for a war.
There are exceptions to every rule. And what I would say is, in the balanced budget amendment that we have proposed, and we voted on in 2012, it said you cannot run a deficit except in times of declared war. And we actually made it very specific because we want Congress to participate and say, this is a real war, not just a skirmish, not just kinetic energy. This is a real war. And then you would be allowed to borrow. We did borrow money during World War II, and there are times you can and have to borrow money, but you shouldn't. It's just like for your rent. For your house or for your mortgage, you shouldn't borrow money. You can't borrow money to pay your monthly payments. You borrow a large sum against the house, but you have to make your monthly payments. If it's $1,000 to live in your house, if you're borrowing that $1,000 on your Visa card, it doesn't work. I mean, you quickly go bankrupt. That's what we're doing. We're borrowing money to make our daily expenses.